actual jellyfish. Jellyfish? Mom, what are you doing? A video of the house? Say something.
Good morning. No, good afternoon. I'm checking in really quick before my baby wakes up from his nap to show you what the project is for this week or next few weeks. You may be able to tell from these exciting squares behind me that I have already started ideating for a bit of a bedroom makeover. I talked about this a little bit in my last home updates video where I just kind of talked about all of the issues with the bedroom as it is currently. But right now I'm just kind of trying to test out some different colors in here. I had painted these two color samples probably like 2 weeks ago, and I've just kind of been letting them sit up here, just feeling them out. Today I painted a bunch more in different parts of the room because I feel like this room, like the light in this room is just so different in every space that it's really hard. Yeah, this is the most egregious example. Obviously, I've already talked about how we're going to take out this wood panel wall, but I just wanted to see how the colors would look with the bedding, and they look completely different. Like this color right here is the same as this color, which is crazy. But yeah, disregard that anyway. Okay, so this color, they're both from Bear. This color is chilled wine. This color is, whoa, wow, this is hard to coordinate. This color is called Almondine. I really like them both. They're kind of just a different like hues of the same basic greenish, yellowish, beigeish color. I like the idea of going darker, but I'm not sure if I would regret that once I put it in the entire room. So yeah, just trying to test out how each of these would look in this corner. This corner, I don't know, the light here is really messing with my brain because it's like, here's our window. If I go directly over here, I feel like these are giving me a clear, oh, these swatches are giving me, I think, a pretty clear color of how they look in the light. But if I go back over here to this corner that's so dark, I feel like I look at these and I can't even see them. Like I can't even tell what color this is. Let's also talk about this bed, which as you may notice is very purple. It's also, up close you can see, pretty splotchy. And that is because I dyed it myself. This used to be sort of grayish bluish color, and I over dyed it with RIT dye. I'll show you the color, the RIT dye color formula that I was trying to follow. I think it actually ended up extremely close to what that color was. It's just, and I think it's such a beautiful color. Like I really, really love this color. I just have been really uncertain if I loved it for my bedroom. Like I don't know if I want like a really purple bed. Let me show you actually my vision board for this room in case you're feeling really confused about why I decided to go for vibrant purple bedding. Okay, so here's how I compile my ideas for redoing a space. I just use Freeform on my MacBook and just kind of post pictures in there. So this was the image that started it all. I saw it and I was like, I like those colors. I'm not going to look further. I'm just committing to those colors. And then I looked for similar ones with a yellowish greenish wall and reddish purplish bedding. And it felt different to me than color schemes that I'm usually drawn to, which are a lot of more straight reds and greens. And I don't really have any spaces that are yellow and purple. I really like these color schemes here. I like the idea of doing sort of tonal reds where you have like a more purplish red and a more coral orangish red. And the combination of this more plum and coral color, which was what inspired me to dye my bedding in this color. My pillowcases originally were a white and beige, and I just dyed it over with this coral red color, and I think it looks really good. I like the combination of the stripes with the solid. And then I just kind of post in different items that I like, whether they're online or on Facebook Marketplace, just to kind of get a feel for how all of these elements would feel together. Once I've done that, I try to make an actual kind of mock-up. So I first use, for the background of this image, I use ChatGPT to just get an idea of what my room would look like in the paint color that I want. And this is it wasn't very good at coming up with the specific paint color that I wanted, but good enough to get a concept for what these colors would look like together. And then I just kind of pasted in images of things that I'd found online that were similar to the vibes that I wanted to go for, even if not exactly the same. And I like the idea of doing a like beadboard ledge on the back instead of a headboard. I liked the idea of doing mismatched night tables in a pretty statement style. Night tables I've found are very difficult to come by secondhand, like to find interesting vintage ones. But I wanted the tone of these to be quite warm in comparison to the dark tones of the bedding. So once I had all of these things in place, I felt like this was a good enough direction to get started choosing my items. Good morning from my disastrous bedroom. We had a very productive evening last night. We were able to get this whole paneled wall taken down with just one casualty to the drywall. Right there. Oh, right there. Whoa, I did not get all my mascara washed off, but okay. And we got a lot of painting done. We've got like one coat about halfway covered on the wall. And so we went with the darker color, which was chilled wine from Bear. And I really, really like the way that it's looking so far. Obviously it's still patchy. And I feel like, so I only got one gallon, it's a gallon, I guess, of paint, just to make sure that we were good with that color before I committed to purchasing a lot of it. But I think like for the second coat, I might go with a higher gloss finish because I really, really liked the way that it looked last night when the paint was still wet and it was kind of reflective. It just looked like very golden, elegant vibe. And so I feel like I'm kind of into that right now. I watched a house and garden tour recently with my husband where the woman whose house was being featured had painted her whole living room in a brown, like very high gloss brown paint, and it looked actually really awesome. So I'm kind of into the idea of doing high gloss paint just like for the entire wall. So that's what we're doing today. We've also got, okay, so this area is the bedroom. Then we go down the hall, we have our closet here, and then we've got the bathroom here. Also a big mess. But So I've been not sure whether I wanted to like carry this wall color all the way into the bathroom. Here, let me open this. All the way into the bathroom, or try to cut it off at some point. There's just like not a really natural cutoff point though. But I am actually looking at this bathroom. I actually do really like the idea of doing a yellow in here as well. So I think we'll probably just try to do that color all the way into the bathroom. Because like right now we have a lot of gray in the floor, grayish, brownish like cabinets, which ultimately I would love to replace. But for now, I feel like just adding some warmth to the wall would go a long way to brightening up the space and giving it some more dimension. I also think the yellow would look really awesome with these like watercolors that I have, these bluish toned watercolors that I have here. So our one disappointing factor at this point is the bedding. I tried last night to use RIT color remover in my washing machine to do either completely remove the color or at least lighten it to the point where I could try re-dyeing it. So here's the state of our bedding right now. As you can see, it's very uneven. And even more splotchy than it was before. Like this is like a true tie-dye. Like I feel like if this were the uniform color on all of it, I could try re-dyeing it in a more red color right now, and I feel like that would be perfect. It's just the fact that so much of it still looks like this. I'm just really debating. I really liked the idea of not having to buy new bedding and like just saving that money for other things. But now I'm just really debating whether it's worth trying to do color remover again, maybe use a different technique this time, then re-dye it. I'm just not, or if I should just bite the bullet and get a new duvet cover that I know is gonna be one solid color. It's just, yeah, I'm really torn. And to be fair, like I have never had this unreliable of results with RIT dye before. I think it's just because it's so much material, and it like every step of the way it has said using a front loading washing machine is not recommended for this. And so I think that's just the problem, is that it just doesn't, the stuff just doesn't circulate uniformly. I just don't have any other like container that could fit this much material. So if I did try it again, I would probably just try to do them one at a time. Instead of dyeing the duvet cover and the sheet and the pillowcase together. Like that probably would have been smart to do from the beginning, but that just feels like so many steps and so much product. So this is a constant problem with me, just the question of whether to like try to do things right or try to just do them the fast way that I want to do them and hope that they'll work. And I usually always choose the second. And you see where that has gotten me. Stop at the thrift store on my way home from picking up those stools. I would have loved to find something for the bedroom, some either artwork or lamps or lampshades or something for the room, but I didn't find any of that. I did find some other just random cute things that I had to get though. So let me show you my little $11 haul here. Okay, first I found this little like bike horse thing. for $5, which I had to get. My kids were very excited about it, and it's always good to find like a toy that's actually cute that you could just leave out in your house and it will not ruin the aesthetic. I got this little matryoshka nesting doll, which I just thought was so pretty and would be like really cute to put on like a shelf as decor, or like in my girls' room or something. It has this inside, which I don't know what that is. If you have any insight, let me know. I got this box. Whoa, it was $2. This just like old metal like file box. I don't really know what I'll use it for, but I like that it's actually somewhat, it doesn't have a lock, but it is actually somewhat closable. Like, okay, see, I can't even figure out how to open it. Did it lock? Oh, I got it. Which I just feel like is good for anything that I might want to store in a common area but don't want my child to be able to reach, or don't want the baby to be able to access. And finally, this little step stool. Step stools, oh, with this on the front, a little house. $2. I just feel like a step stool is something that you can never have enough of when you have little kids at your house. And so we'll put this in one of the bathrooms. These are so cute. We are on the clock right now. The two little kids are napping. The older one will get home from school in about 2 hours. So we are going to, and after a lot of extensive vacillation, I have decided to try re-dyeing the sheets. What is on my head? I think this is jam. I just felt like it would be worth another like $8 in color remover to try to save myself from having to buy new bedding. So, and also because it's just really hard to find the exact color of bedding that I want that already exists. So I'm trying a new technique right now. I have this giant tub in my sink that I think will fit all of the bedding more comfortably and will allow me to like agitate it by hand and make sure that things don't get wrapped up in each other, which will hopefully allow it to dye more uniformly. The challenge with this is going to be keeping the temperature hot enough in this tub. So I'm gonna add really hot water from the sink. I have like some water boiling right here that I'm gonna add in, and I don't think it will actually get to the recommended temperature or stay at the recommended temperature, but this is the best that we can do right now. So, and I don't need complete removal of the color. I just want it to be mostly removed so that we have a mostly blank slate. So that is the goal for right now. And then while that is sitting in hot water, I'm also going to be working on the paint in this room, which has made great progress, and I love it so much. I really, really love this color. So that is my to-do list for the next 2 hours. Can I do it? See, the color looks a lot better, I feel like, on the front facing camera for some reason. I also just got this new pillow from Cezanne. I used my gifted credit that they generously gave to me for this month on this pillow, and I think it's so cute. I really like the colors, and I feel like it will be a really good contrast to the reds and yellows that we already have going on in this room. So we will see how it all comes together. Here are our sheets. Very promising, I would say. Worked much better than last time. Still not 100% even, obviously, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see. This is looking promising, and it's looking super dark, which is what I wanted, because I wanted it to sort of cover over the unevenness that was left after the color remover. But I feel like this is looking good to me. Are you ready for the bedding reveal? Okay, that actually looks really bad. Okay, I'm actually, the bedding, the color of it did not come out quite as even as it was seeming like it was going to once I had washed it. But I'm still pretty satisfied. The color itself is spot on. Like, I'm so happy with how the color turned out. I feel like it looks so good in this room, and just like I am really liking these, like, all these rich tones together. So I'm like satisfied with the way that it looks for now. It is a little bit splotchy, but I feel like especially when it's light outside, it's like you have this window shining on the bed and you can't really tell. It kind of looks like the splotches are just an effect of the light, like shadows from trees and stuff like that coming through the window. So I don't think it's super egregious. What I may end up doing, since the splotches are mostly on this bottom half of the bed, like what I might end up doing is just getting like a coverlet or something. If I could thrift one or find one secondhand, I think that would be very cute. Getting a coverlet to just like sort of cover up the worst parts of it. Or if it ends up really bothering me down the road, I can just buy something now that I know exactly what color I'm wanting. But for now, I'm like really satisfied. And every time that I walk in or like catch a glimpse of this bed and the wall color together, I just feel so satisfied with how it is looking. I'm not sure if that's coming through on the camera, like how good the colors are together, but I think it's really good. So I feel like those are the big things. The big things are in place. Some of the smaller things we still need to do. So yeah, I feel like a bench along here with a few books, just some like cute knickknacks and stuff, maybe a chair in this corner, would be a nice little vignette on this side. Here by our door, I have these little hooks that I want to hang. Like so. I think these are very cute. I got these hooks on Etsy to go in like the entryway from my front door, but I ended up putting pictures there instead, so now I just have these hooks, but I do feel like it would be useful to have like a little mini entryway type thing to my bedroom itself. And then I've got my mirror because having a good place for my daily mirror pics is very important to me. And I do really like the scene that is created in this space. I do feel like I might actually prefer just like a mirror that's mounted flat on the wall instead of this leaning mirror. That feels like it could be a better use of the space, but for now, I'm fine with it. We also need to do a new baseboard behind this wall where we tore it out, new vent. This whole thing is kind of a mess. And I still like the idea of doing new poles for our dresser, just to sort of like update it, modernize it, make it a little bit less ornate as a piece. The problem is I really cannot find anything online that's the right size. I think these are 2.5 inches apart, and they are really, it's really hard to find something that size. I don't know if I just like don't know where to look or something, but I'm kind of getting stuck on that. I'm toying with the idea of doing, like, I've seen people use knob poles in place of, or like knobs instead of the poles, where they just do like 2 knobs right next to each other. And I actually really like the look of that. And I would love to do just like a nice wooden knob for these drawers. I like the look of it in a lot of other places. I don't know if it'll look weird on this piece just because there are so many poles, if it will be like just like a crazy number of knobs. But I might try it. And that's basically where we're at for now. Again, really, really like how it's coming together. We've got to sort this out as well. Good morning from my finished room, or as finished as it's going to be for a little while. The main thing that I was waiting for to wrap up this video was to get our new light fixtures, which I will show you in a moment. And then yesterday also I ran out to Target and got new pillows, like just new bed pillows to go inside of our pillowcases, just to kind of fluff up and refresh the bed, because our old pillows, I don't even know how long we have had those pillows. They're quite pancake-like. So with those 2 additions, I feel like things are looking really good. And of course, I just ran downstairs to turn on Miss Rachel for my children, to entertain them for a few minutes while I filmed this room tour. And when I had come back up, the sun went behind a cloud. So the lighting is not great in here right now, but we will, this is my moment and I have to seize it. So let me show you everything in its current form. So the most important additions that we've made lately are these light fixtures. The lighting is just not good. They don't look good, but trust me, they look good in real life. These were like the most important or the most expensive single thing that we bought for the room. They were like a little bit more expensive than I wanted to spend. I got them on Etsy for $75 each, which is maybe not really that expensive. But I just really, really liked the super shallow shape of them. I didn't want them to be like a more equilateral triangle shape. And this was the best that I could find, and I really, really like them. I think they were worth it because I think they do make a really big difference. And then I just got I got the actual cord sets on Amazon, and those were like $15 each. So yeah, but those just make the biggest difference, I think, in the room. They just add so much more light in comparison to the old shades where the light was so contained in like a very dark shape and just pointing straight down. I feel like these lights open it up a lot more. They kind of like diffuse the light a lot more. And I just really like that they are very simple while still being stylish because of their shape. Our beautiful shelving unit, I still think has a lot of potential to be styled and look a lot cooler than it does currently. But that is something that will just have to accumulate over time, I think. But it's really, really useful. But it is literally perfect because we needed something that would not cover up our vent right here and then also have room to accommodate all of the Google Fiber stuff without like having to stick out 3 inches from the wall. So like, I just don't think we could have possibly found a more perfect shelf. The stools I have decided that I do not love, but I will just keep my eyes out for something on Facebook that is a little bit more interesting. For now, I'm fine with it though. I don't hate them. I actually do like the tone. I would probably just prefer a more interesting shape. And then I love my little art pieces that I've put up. I feel like adding more art to the wall is one of the main things that still needs to be done. One of the things that will make the biggest difference here, I think. We need something over the bed. I do have an idea for an art project, like a DIY large art project that I want to try to do up for above the bed, but I'm not going to commit to that on video right now. So stay tuned. You may see that in my next home update video. And then just like to fill up a few more of the corners, like this space here, this space here. I think I will end up moving this mirror to the other wall, just like to be on the same wall as my window, for optimal outfit selfies. But I think we may like remove this back stand of the mirror here and then just mount it flat on the wall so that it's not blocking the hallway, like our access to closet and bathroom. And then we did end up carrying this green color all the way into our bathroom, and I really love how it looks in here. I feel like with the greenery out the windows, it just makes the whole room feel very like alive and bright. And I really, really love it with my little paintings in the corner too. I love how it like plays with the blue of these little watercolors that I have in my corner too. There is still some wonky paint stuff that needs to be touched up. We learned a lot throughout this project about how to use painter's tape, and we made a lot of mistakes, but those are things that'll just have to be tackled later. For now, it's not that noticeable. Then of course the carpet, still not sure what will be done with this carpet. It's really gross, but that is a bigger budget item that will also have to wait for the future. You may notice here that my drawer pulls are missing in some places, and I'm still undecided also about what to do with these drawer pulls. I actually think that the brass looks really nice now with the paint color. I really like how those look together. And I feel like even though the dresser itself is kind of old-fashioned looking, it looks good. Like the fact that this more modern piece is the same wood tone, I feel like ties these together in a nice way. But yeah, just still not sure what I want to do with the drawer pulls. I think a brass finish in a more modern style might be nice. So that is where our room is at at this time. I'm really so happy with how everything looks together. I can't help but notice as I look around that though I intended to go with a purple and yellow color scheme to get away from my normal green and red thing that I always love, this room overall does read as green and red. But I guess that's what I like, and I'm gonna just stick with that. But yeah, I just really love coming in here at all times of day. I feel like the paint color looks so different depending on the time of day, but I really like it in all light, in natural light, with the little lamps on in the nighttime. I love catching a glimpse of it through my doorway when I come in here, if it's reasonably tidy, which it isn't always, but when it is, I just feel like I've walked into like a really cool hotel, and that is really all that I could ask for from my bedroom. So yeah, I feel like we were able to make a really big difference with some not very expensive things, and I'm extremely proud of how it's turned out. So, oh, I also want to replace the door fixtures, not just because they're not very cool or interesting, but because I just think a lever door handle is no good if you have a baby. Like we can't keep him out. He's too young to be able to open doors whenever he pleases. Like he needs a little bit of a limit, and a round doorknob is a little bit of a limit. So we will be doing that. We also need to replace the doorknobs on our bathrooms for that reason. Anyway, let me know if you have ideas for other things I need to add. I do feel like it's still feeling just a little bit bare. So some suggestions of like inexpensive but high impact things I could do for the walls would be welcome. Thank you for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this, and I will be back soon with more bedroom updates. I hope more home updates in general. Okay, bye.